Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pitch Strike Chronicles. I am Taz. I am here with Donald, and good morning, Mazza. I see you in that chat already, bright and early. And it was the Yankees won their first series. It was an amazing series that was played. Another shutout, another solid start from the rotation. Brito was awesome yesterday. I got the privilege of watching it live. I was at the stadium. And the energy was for him. Everybody was just ready to watch this kid make his debut, and he delivered for everybody. But before we really get into the discussions of the weekend series, I want to give a shout out to this little boy that was on the train leaving the stadium. He was 11 years old, right? And he had his Judge jersey on. He couldn't wait. They were coming from California. It was their first time in New York. His first time at the stadium, and he just wanted to talk about the game the whole train ride. And I thought that was just awesome. And I'm like, I had no voice left from the game. And his family, they were really sweet people. So I hope you got to see the Brooklyn Bridge like you wanted to. That's where they were heading. And I just wanted to give him a shout out. And hopefully you're a fan for life now. After seeing that game. So shout out to you and your family and your little sister and your father, everybody. They were just a great family. I really enjoyed chatting with them. So what's going on, TC? So when you're looking at the way that this series started and just getting the season off with a series win, do you think that it's something that's overstated or it's still early, but it's something to just keep hope, it keeps the hope going that this can be another year like it started last year, where we were just winning series?
I feel good about this series. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought everything kind of worked. I didn't even hate the pitch clock. Everything kind of just worked. Everything was going, and there was a lot of action. Even game 2, which obviously didn't work out in our favor, I didn't look too deeply into. I thought a lot of it was kind of misfortune rather than anything that I could pick apart with the Yankees. I thought that the Giants benefited from a lot of luck, but it was still a hell of a great game. But the Yankees were awesome in game 1 and awesome in game 3, so I think there's a lot to be positive about. So everyone in the chat, TC Steals, 4 Train Express, you guys rock. Press the like button and let's get the likes up because it helps our little configuration on the old YouTube thingy, and share it out to your friends and family and all these kind of things. That would sure help us out. Yep. But listen, man, I felt great about Brito. I thought Brito was phenomenal. I thought his changeup was working, as 4 Train Express says there. His changeup was good. I thought his sinker was working. Even was managing to get his curveball in there, his tertiary pitch in there for strike. So I thought that Brito everything was working great for him. So I was really happy with what I saw from him. He was a bit of a surprise. I thought that the safer bet would have been Clark Schmidt coming in, but it was actually Brito, which was the one that was cooking between the two.
Yeah, it seemed like you were talking about this yesterday with some friends that we noticed that through the second turn through the lineup with Clark Schmidt was they were starting to time his pitches really well. They were able to read his pitches. I don't think he was tipping. I just think they adjusted to him. And what I think also happened was they started really getting deep into counts. A lot of pitches were being thrown. What's going on with the brain? And that's just fun to say. I had to say it. You started stressing a little bit, and you saw that he was also rushing. That's where I think the pitch clock was the negative throughout the weekend. It really affected Schmidt. I think that he didn't have time to just step back and analyze what he wanted to, what his approach was as the at-bats were going deep. That's where you started to see the pitch clock become a negative. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but that's something that I noticed. He didn't have that chance to just walk around the mound, collect his thoughts. He had a rush, and he started to feel rushed as the at-bats were getting deeper into the pitches. So that was
shout out to my co-host,
yes,
Big Blue in the Bronx, Alex. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Alex.
I love the commitment. I love the commitment that he is still committed to watching our show, even he's in class everybody watch our show at 8:10. We're going to be talking Yankees and probably doing some draft work as well. So please check us out at 8:10 p.m. But yeah, big shout out to Alex. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, looks like the chat is starting to heat up. Please hit the like button. Certainly will help us share this out, and anyone
friends, family, strangers, your pets, share it to everybody.
Yeah, share it to your pets. I know that your dog is sitting there listening to the Pinstripe Chronicles going, I like Tats. Tats seems like a big cuddly bear.
The dog is downstairs howling, going, can you please talk about Volpe already? And how good his weekend was. No,
I've already cuddled my dog for the last half hour, so he should be good for the next few minutes. So we should get a podcast in without home whimpering.
No, the Yankees are off to a great start. Volpe is off to a great start. Judge is off to a great start. The one of the question marks that we had was, what was going to happen with the rotation with Rodon and Sevi going down, how they were going to make all these adjustments and last minute changes, and it just seems like everybody's been ready to go. And even
Cordero here. I'm like, big star.
Now we appreciate that, Maz. And it's just you just see that everybody's just hyped up. They're ready for the season, and like we had talked about the other day, it seems like the Yankees are ready for redemption. They felt not that they felt that they were embarrassed. They were embarrassed, and it was they wanted to get the season started off on the right foot, and I think that they were able to do that very well. Like I said, with the exception of with Schmidt through the second turn of the lineup, where he kind of lost control of the game a little bit, everybody stepped up. I mean, they almost won that game. They weren't out of it, and I think that's something that's carrying over from last year as well. TC here wasn't a fan of the pitch clock at first, but I'm liking it, and it's good for the game. One thing I will say is I'm very outspoken that I am not a fan of all these rule changes. But the more I'm watching it, the more I'm not noticing it. The only time that I realized that there was Hector, good morning, salute.
We were talking about you pre-show. We were saying how much we love your show.
So, yeah, if you are not subscribed to the Brew Crew Sports Channel, then you are really doing something wrong in your life. So, it's
something wrong with your life. God damn it, something wrong with your life.
What are you doing? Right? As Hector would say, what are you doing with your life? So, I think that was the only time that I noticed the pitch. Otherwise, it's just the game is more. It is more ramped up. It is that faster pace, and you don't realize it. And I think that that's something that we had to wait until real live games, as opposed to spring training, where we were actually going to see the effects of the pitch clock. And hopefully this carries on through the season where it really doesn't become a big issue.
Listen, I thought that I would notice it a hell of a lot more than I have. In spring training, I was pretty nonplussed. I was pretty unhappy. It was kind of getting a sore neck just like that. But since the regular season started, I've barely noticed it, and I've actually kind of been very much engrossed in the game. And so, you know what? This could actually help. It's cut out all the stuff that probably was not necessarily required, and now we're just getting into the action. And I'm noticing a hell of a lot more action, and that's just great. I love the fact that the shift has changed. We're seeing a hell of a lot more hits, and I love the fact that they've made the bases bigger because we're seeing a hell of a lot more stolen bases. So, I think that's a really good sign too.
Yeah, we know, Damien. We've been having some audio issues. We're working on. We got most of them cleared up. So it's just, I think it's something with StreamYard right now, because we've been making every adjustment we can. We appreciate it. You let us know that. What's going on, FJ? So I think it's really just cutting out a lot of the dead airspace, with these changes. And the other thing that you notice is there's more action. And I think that was the initial goal, was to put more action in the game. I think the stolen base percentage, attempts, and success rate is up like 25% over the weekend from where it ended last year. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think bringing back the speed factor of the game is kind of what was taken away because of all these advanced analytics. And I think they realized that they were so heavy on analytics of not giving up outs, or afraid to give up an out, that they kind of stalled the game out, where it was just, station to station. And that wasn't healthy for the game. But now that you're seeing, especially from Volpe, I mean, he had a stolen base record, this weekend that the Yankees hadn't seen since 1913.
Wow,
With their with a rookie in stolen base attempts.
that's crazy.
So you're seeing that the players are starting to take advantage of the opportunity of, hey, they don't have time to think. I'm just going to go. And so I think we're going to see a lot more. I think that's just going to start going tenfold. You're going to see a lot of stolen bases, a lot of them.
We're seeing a lot more hits because we saw Rizzo get a hit and Judge get a hit already this series, where the shift probably would have taken that away. So
I was going to bring the shift up next. You're seeing a lot.
Yeah,
more
I think the shift has been great for us because we're getting more hits in there.
I think you're right, TC. Volpe changed the whole dynamic of the lineup. Because you can't rest on the bottom of if you can't sleep on the bottom of an order, and they're just going to turn it over to the top of the lineup, you're in good hands. You really are. I'm glad that they made the decision not to rush him into the leadoff spot. That they're letting him. I think he found his place for now. I think he's going to work his way up the lineup. But I think that the way that this is all where they situated, I think they actually turned it into a strength. And as long as they can maintain that and capitalize on it, it's going to be a success for a while. And then Mazzy here, to me, Volpe stole the show versus the Giants. He really shows that because he helped manufacture runs by stealing a couple and getting a few hits, he also played outstanding defense. I think his defense was very underrated going into the season because we all knew, we all had the wherewithal. Peraza was a little strong defensively, but slower. He was developing a little slower with the bat. And so Volpe got the call. Big G staying healthy and producing is going to be key for our season. Yeah.
Let's touch on G for a second. I love the fact that he was accountable after game 2. I mean, listen, he hit a home run. He could have just rested on the laurel, but he was very disappointed in himself for the approach that he had in the 9th inning. So he said afterwards, he's like, listen, that's unacceptable. I got to be better. And what did he do the next day? He hit a home run to Scotland. I mean, it's 500 feet. It's like the biggest home run you're going to see this year, in my opinion. So that kind of says everything that why we should love Big G. Big G is accountable, and he steps up when we ask him to. And that bomb last night was absolutely insane. 485 feet. That is insane, man. That's still flying over the Atlantic as we speak.
Yep. No, I think the problem is what really pisses me off, all right, is you get a player like Giancarlo, who we got in a trade for a steal. We stole him from the Marlins. All right. When you get an MVP for Stalin Castro, that's a steal. All right. And he's done everything right as a Yankee up to this point. He's never put blame on anybody but himself. He doesn't, say, well, the manager didn't put me in the right spot. The manager's not playing me in the outfield. He's like, no, I want to just play the outfield more. He's very good with his words and how he handles these interviews. But he's also carrying it down onto the field. Yeah, definitely.
No, it almost hit me in the head.
Oh, that was a shot. That was crazy how far that ball went. But when you had that one game that he lost, he grounded into the double play that went under review, which I still think that the guy at second was safe. I don't think his foot was on the bag, when he was throwing to first. But that's in the year they reviewed it. We lost the review. It is what it is. It's going to happen. You can't win them all.
Oh, that was a bad call.
It was a terrible call. That actually really pissed me off. I got so frustrated. because we were right on the cusp of actually taking that game, and because of a bad umpiring call, we lost. And that's why
What is the point of instant replay if they're not going to correct the call? I mean, he clearly did not touch the bag. I watched it numerous times. I used every freeze frame. His cleat did not touch the bag. He wasn't there. He didn't touch the bag at all. It's a terrible call.
But I just think, when he got up, he's like, yeah, I had to, he goes, I was able to get the, I was able to get the home run and put us on the board, and build a lead. He goes, but I couldn't close it out. He goes, I couldn't finish the day off the way I wanted it to, and that's my fault. He felt he cost us.
That's what I said. He was accountable.
Like, why is this guy that is over and over again holding himself accountable the villain? Why does he got to be the villain? Hector brought up earlier. Look at Donaldson. Why is he playing every day? He'll have one good game and then two bad games. So he's not balanced out. I mean, he's made some good plays with his defense, which we knew was going to be there. But if he's not contributing with the bat, then find somewhere else to put him, or don't
he did
play
well
the whole game.
to hit that home run though. He did well.
No, he did.
That home run left field. That was difficult because he had to adjust the swing to reach it. So he looks like he's got a better swing this year than last year. Still not defending him, but it does look like you're going to see a slightly better Donaldson.
Yeah. Nicky, he goes, you couldn't sweep the Giants? Would have loved to have rubbed that in my dad and sister's face. Now, believe me, I was thinking about that. I was ready to
2 out of 3. What do you want, huh?
Yeah, right. Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Mazza brings up that he was glad that Hicks was benched. That tells me the Yankees are over Hicks and his terrible play.
What about Hicks? What about what he said to the Athletic?
Oh my God! Don't remind everybody just so I can re-aggravate myself.
I want to see if I can find that whole description.
Oh my God! No, I don't know where I fit in. You don't fit in. You can't play baseball anymore. You really can't. Yeah, you had that pinch hit. You went up 3-0, which really was 2-0 because of the clock violation to start the bat. So you already started 1-0. We're like, all right, this is good. Yeah, I know. Watch my blood pressure. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, here we go. I got it here. I just want to play. I don't want to come off the bench and face closers all day. I want to play the field. I want to play every day, and it's just what I want to do. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's him and his hurt. I'm tired of him and his hurt feelings.
I know.
But you go on.
Listen, I think we should grant him his wish, though. I think he should play every day. I think he should play every day in China. In China.
But you go up 3-0. How do you not? But let's be honest with that at bat, right? He got hosed by the umpire on the ball 4. Right? He should have walked. That was a bad call by the ump. That pitch wasn't even hittable. But because of the way it moved on, because of the way it crossed the plane of the plate. I mean, come on now. What are we doing? The catch is set up on the inside, and he had to go over to the outside to catch it. That doesn't tell you that it's a ball. It's if he was throwing gas and he was just constantly throwing in strikes, you give the benefit of the doubt to the pitcher. But if he's not hitting the zone, if he's not hitting the zone at all, why are you giving him the corner like that? It just there's no consistency with these umpires, But the players need to do their job as well. I want a head full of hair like Hicks. Go play in beer league. I'm gonna go play. You know what? We don't need him, Hector. We don't need it.
No, what a baby. But it was the biggest troll job ever was the fact that Aaron Boone preferred IKF to him in center field. I love that. I couldn't dream of a way of embarrassing Aaron Hicks more than that.
I'm tired of even talking about him because, like Hector said, my blood pressure is going to go. I'm going to put myself in dangerous levels. You may never see me.
In fairness, IKF did fairly well. field. At least he reached the ball and didn't like drop the ball. So
No,
that's always progress.
Let me tell you, IKF didn't look bad out there. A lot of the plays were routine. It's not like he's diving all over the place. Like who was it that I used to call the Olympic swimmer? Frazier. He used to be diving. Like
I thought you were referring to Aaron Hicks because he was doing that just as well last year.
Nobody dove off a diving board for a ball like Clint Frazier. Nobody did. It didn't matter. It could have been hit right to him. He was diving for it. But IKF played good outfield, and let me tell you, every time the ball was hit to him, and we were chanting IKF all over the place. We were all for it. We were like, because we were not seeing Hicks, so we were very happy. We were like, we'd rather see Falefa playing center field than what does that tell you about Hicks?
That's it, man.
There was about his standings within his fan base.
There was no better troll job by Aaron Boone. He literally trolled Aaron Hicks right there. He's like, I prefer a punch and Judy backup infielder who's never played outfield before to you, Aaron.
All right, Nick brings up Aroldis Chapman, and yeah, I did see that video of him hitting 103. He's playing for Kansas City. It doesn't matter what he does. He could throw 110 for the whole season. He still won't snip.
Honestly, who cares? Does he even exist at this point?
Yeah, it's what? Good for him. If he's able to revitalize his career, that's great. As long as it's not with us. Because
by the way, he did that plenty of times for the Yankees. In April, he would be freaking Mariano Rivera, and then once it hit June, he couldn't hit. He couldn't hit the freaking catcher if the catcher had a glove the size of freaking Mars. Like, honestly, the ball's flying all over the place. So, honestly, give me a break with Aroldis Chapman. He's just a disgrace.
No, and also, let's also talk about our captain. Oh, captain, my captain. What a start to the year he's having as well. I mean, he's
not worthy. We're not worthy.
It's really, he's playing a midseason form in April. Like, he's just ready. His at-bats are good. He's playing, with the band of the shift. He's not trying, you're seeing it not just from Judge, you're seeing it with a lot of the guys. They're not trying to hit the ball over everybody's head. They're just chanting it through the hole. And you're seeing Judge doing that also. And that's what makes Judge that much special. He's not trying to run every single at bat. He's just trying to put the bat on the ball and let the power of the swing put it where it's going to go. And he's already starting to hit him over the wall. Yeah,
exactly. After his home run yesterday, he was like 545 batting average and a 116 OPS. Unbelievable, baby.
Yeah, IKF did come up as a catcher. So Boone, actually, and so would we. I would rather him playing center field over Hicks any day of the week. Colton Brewer. I actually think that he's handling Boone is handling the bullpen very well so far. I know it's still early. It's 3 games. It's like I said, we only have so many games to go off of right now where we have nothing but positive things to say. Colton Brewer, he was really good. Really good. Marinaccio looks really good to start the season. The only hiccup really was Schmidt's second turn through the lineup, which we went over. And then what's going to happen, the issue, the slow start with Holmes and King. They didn't have their best debut outings. But are we really worried about those two? We've seen what they can do when they're in their game. It might just take a couple of games for them to really get their rhythm on the mound.
Yeah, so this Colton Brewer thing, this is clearly in order for him to work with Matt Blake. Get Matt Blake into the pitching laboratory and see if they can turn him into a pitcher. He's not been able to be a pitcher much of his entire career to this point, but they obviously feel that they wouldn't have acquired him if they didn't think that Matt Blake couldn't fix whatever it is that he's got. And so far, so good. I'm still, you still have to have minimal expectations, but an arm is better than nothing.
I think Colton's going to be. I think it's going to be the same thing when we got Holmes. It was this guy that we didn't know about, that we weren't too sure about.
Whoa, that's a big statement. You're going to say the Colton Bruce is going to turn into Clay Holmes?
No. I'm saying just that pitcher that we really didn't know much about, that didn't have the best numbers, but just was still able to contribute at some point to some level.
I've got a better one for you. Aaron Small. Aaron Small or Sean Chacon. That's probably more accurate.
Okay.
That was 2 successes for Brian Cashman, where lightning in a bottle, people were like, what? But Aaron Small, and he ended up doing very, very good. So that could be similar. But listen, we're going by 1 inning. There's a very good chance that he can implode in the next inning, because his career to date has been underwhelming, to be the kindest way possible. But what I am saying is there's a possibility that Blake can turn him into at least an average reliever, which would be an improvement to his career to this point.
Yeah. And this was the you know what?
I'm not against
it. I'm not against it. I'm
really
not.
Who do you trust? Hubba. Who do you trust? Do you trust Clay Holmes?
At this stage of the season?
Yeah, if you do you trust Clay Holmes, whose sinker doesn't sink? Or do you trust Marinaccio, who our Italian stallion, who always just produces whenever he's on the field? I'm on board the Marinaccio train, to be honest. Clay Holmes gives me aggro big time. Like every time I see him pitch, he annoys me.
No, I think he has to rebuild. He has to regain our trust. But Marinaccio has our trust right now. Leave him as the closer. Let him come in at the end of the game. Clay Holmes was a disaster. Don't get what happened to him. He was so key last season until he fell apart.
He cost us like 4 or 5 games last year, Clay Holmes, at least.
Yeah. He did fall off the cliff. I think a part of it was he had he did have the injury. Maybe he was trying to pitch through it. But I still think I've seen what he could be. I don't think that what he was in the beginning of the season was a flash in the pan. I just don't see it. His stuff is too good to just completely fall off. And he goes, why did they send Brito when I have no idea.
Well, it has everything to do with options. It has everything to do with options, and the fact that Brito's spot isn't due to come up again in another 10 days or something like that. So it gives us time to bring in a reliever for the next set of games until Brito's time in the rotation comes up. It's actually very logical, and it's nothing to look too much into. It's all about options. You don't want to risk sending down Clark Schmidt. I don't know how many options he has left, but you do have options with Brito, so it makes all the sense in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I think it was just an options move. I also think it was because of the way the schedule is set. You won't need him for another. By the time his next start would come, he'll be able to be called back up. Yeah. So why not put an extra arm in the bullpen? So I just don't think that. I don't think it was a punishment move. I just think it was.
Why would it be a punishment move? It's a shutout. It's definitely not a punishment.
No, and he was great. He really was. But I think it was a roster move, not because of something he did wrong. I think it's strictly that.
Of course.
Because a lot of people are like, why is he getting punished for the way he debuted? No, it's a roster move. This is
actually
that's
very
the downside of being being a fan sometimes is you get the reactions. Well,
all right, I'm going after that. So don't worry, D-Rod.
But Brito's going to be back. I'm not worried about that. He's going to make his next. Of course, he'll be back. No doubt about it. Now, if he doesn't get called back up, then we riot.
That won't be the case, and exactly as everybody says, in common practice early in the year with fifth starters. Fifth starter spot doesn't come up very often because we've got all these off days coming up and stuff like that. So, literally nothing to worry about there, and it's not even worth discussing as far as I'm concerned. Brito has been great. He'll be here the next time his spot comes up in the rotation. As for Clay Holmes, he's like my only worry so far in this team. I know we don't have any depth in the outfield. I've addressed that numerous times. Still blue in the face. But the main concern for me is Clay Holmes.
Yeah, I know. I know the outfield depth. Whoever had IKF as center field on their bingo card, celebrate. But I think Holmes is the only issue. I think King is somebody that I want to see a couple more innings out of before give him a chance to bounce back. I think I think King and Holmes will be fine. I need to see more. I don't want to just completely cut them off at this point. I think injuries were a big factor of some of the numbers that fell off near the end of the year. It's not to say that they're going to be elite closers once they figure it out, but I still think that they can be reliable. The other pitcher that was very reliable that's picking up where he left off was Peralta. Peralta looked very good on the mound. He'll always start off ball one, but Wandy's Wandy. I have all the faith in the world in Peralta.
No, Wandy's good. They're good Wandy. We may have to face Spider Schmidt. Well, let's not look too deeply into one start just yet. Let's give him another couple starts. But you could be right. I mean, look, he has looked better out of the bullpen, but I don't want to give up on him. I like Schmidt.
He needs about 2 or 3 more starts before we can make that determination.
Yeah, I like him. I think that I like the fact that they've removed the 4-seam fastball from his repertoire and now made him develop a cutter. And I think you're going to see it benefit him in the long run. So let's just give him a chance to prove himself. We're too hot with the trigger. We've got a very itchy trigger finger with our young pitchers that we develop. We give them no time, no chance to develop. Let's give this guy a chance, right? There's not really much pressure on him. At worst, he's going to end up being our 5th starter. And I think he'd be serviceable. I think he'll give you 5 solid innings. Just give him a chance.
I want to see in his next start.
Actually, agree with LA Yankee King here.
Yeah. I don't shocker. But no, I want to see in his next start how he adjusts to that second turn through the lineup. If he starts to have the same issues where he's just not able to put the batters away because they've made their adjustments, now he needs to make his. That I think that's going to be more. I think that's going to be very telling. It's got to be. You got to give him something to work. You got to at least give him something to build on. Well, let's see how it goes from here. Same thing with any arm in your rotation or your bullpen. We don't have the track record yet for him because he's so new. We've given exactly. We've given Schmidt a sample size and look what happened. He's better in the reliever role. Maybe.
Well, why don't we pick up on this discussion in a month's time? At the end of the day, right now, it's kind of irrelevant to talk about his role because we need him as a starter, right? We've got bullpen arms, but we don't have enough starters until Rodon is healthy. So let's just put this in the freezer for now. We'll take it out of the freezer in about a month's time, and we'll pick it up. And if he is, then we'll deal with it then. But as of right now, we need him to be a decent starter. So let's give him a chance.
Yep. What's going on, MH? And no, it's the season started, and as Yankee fans, we keep a clean shave.
That's right. We're keeping a clean shave. But I will leave it to the chat. If the chat wants the beard back, the beard will come back. Or if they want me to go full Yankee and be clean cut, then I'm happy to go full Yankee.
Now, I think you know what. Fortran, I agree and I disagree. Yeah, I did see that it was only the second game, and he is not what you would call a number 2 starter, pitching after Cole, but it's also don't tell that to Ryan. Yeah, you're right. He gets the Munson treatment. He can do whatever he wants. But no, I think that when you're and throughout spring training, before Rodon and Sevy went down, you get into this mindset that right, I'm like a fourth, fifth starter because I'm still fresh. You're not just going to go right to the top of the rotation. And then he finds out he's pitching game two. That's a big deal, especially when you're opening up the season on a homestand. There's a lot of pressure to that. And he got through the first round of the, first go around through the order. He was doing fun. We were like, all right, this is, this is what we wanted to see. But I think what hurt him the most, I'll go back to it one more time, was the pitch clock. I think the pitch clock, when they were starting getting deep in at bats, he started to rush. And he's got to adjust that within himself. If he can
It's possible. I also think that there was an element of kind of bad luck because there was some infield mistakes and there was a lot of infield hits. And the Giants benefited from a lot of luck. And I don't think Schmidt got raked at all. There wasn't too many hard contact off him. One or two, but nothing overly concerning. I think that a lot of it was kind of bad luck.
Yeah, exactly, TC. That's exactly what they did. But going, when you're going 7-8 pitches per at bat, that's where I had noticed with the pitch count. If anybody didn't hear, I went into it in the beginning of the show, and what I had said was, when you don't have that time to take a step back and just go through your whole arsenal in your head, you only have 10 seconds. If you've thrown 10 pitches and you're trying to figure out, all right, what can I throw to put them away? You have to think about what you've already thrown, what location you've thrown it in, that he's reading it and make the adjustment. He didn't have the time to do that. But Schmidt needs to work on that. That's not the fault of the clock because everybody else was making the adjustment. Right. And now I'm actually defending the clock, which I hate. But I will defend it because it calls for it. I do. It's growing on me, but I still don't like it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
I'm getting used.
I would add another 5 seconds.
It's like that pain in the ass coworker. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to learn to work with them. It's the same thing.
I think it should be like 25 seconds. I think as it is right now is a little bit quick, but it's growing on. I like this question.
Donald, who do you think was the series MVP?
Great question, MH. Aaron, the Captain Judge.
I'm going to say Volpe. I think Volpe, you didn't have the big hits, but when the spotlight was on him, he came through. And when you're making your debut, that's a lot of pressure. And the same thing I said about Schmidt. You're starting off your career on a homestand.
Okay, so everyone in the chat, put your MVP in right now. Everyone in the chat, put your MVP in. Tats is going Anthony Volpe. I'm going Aaron Judge. You could also say Giancarlo Stanton, but I don't think it'll be Stanton because it's a game 2. So if you want to go Volpe or Judge, then I'm going Judge. Go D-Rod, Judge. Who else is going MH Donaldson? Well, that's a joke.
Yeah. Please tell me a joke.
Okay. We've got one vote for Stanton.
All right.
Okay. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Judge. Looks like Judge is winning. We've got 3 for Judge. No, cool. We've got, okay.
I'm not saying
Judge Volpe. LI Yankee King is going on Volpe's side. TC Steel Hicks. Well, the fact that Hicks is playing. Come on, be real here, TC.
No,
you know what? I like the Cole vote. I love the Cole vote.
Yeah.
I'm giving FJ a round of applause for that. Was a good one.
And he got in Brito too with his debut. So yeah. But no, I do think that this is going to be.
Hey, the vote's not up, Tats. Come on, let these guys vote. Everyone else, let's go. Let's go. Plenty of guys in the chat. Come on, everybody in the chat. Let's hit up the votes. Let's go. At the moment, Judge is winning.
We have 14 people in the chat. We need 14 votes.
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't think that if you're gonna go with like with FJ with Cole, Stanton, Hicks, not Hicks, Judge, there's really no wrong answer, because everybody did their job, with the exception of a few players. Everybody performed. Everybody was able to show up when they were supposed to. But it is. I always find it curious. So, because that's why I think MH had a great question for us. Who was the series MVP? We might have to do that throughout the year.
Yeah, after every series, a great
After
idea.
every series. I like
the end of each series. We're gonna have an MVP. We're gonna have a Cy Young. And we're gonna have an MVP. So obviously the MVP. I think it looks like Judge is gonna win the MVP for this series. He's winning the vote right now. But if anyone wants to come in, I'm gonna give the Cy Young to Garrett Cole.
Yeah,
Tats.
Not Cole. I that's what we needed from him. It really is. It should be weekly. Well, you play more than one series in a week, so that might be. We could do a weekly MVP. We could recommend that to the girls on Sunday to do who they thought was the MVP of the week, based on how we all voted throughout the weekdays. Maybe Sunday could be the.
I think after each series we'll try and get a vote in, and I think that's a good idea, and we'll collaborate it as the year goes on.
Hey, you guys are the ones that come to watch us every day. If there's something you want us to talk about, you throw it out in the chat.
Hell yeah.
We're always open for that. We actually really feed off of that. But is it it's when you start the season off the way that we did this weekend, there's no reason not to be optimistic. I think that's where everything would sum up.
I'm very optimistic. I liked what I saw. It was a fun series.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can you say that you'd be really invested in game 2 of a series? I was super invested in game 2. I was watching to the end. I was like, what's going to happen? I was edge of your seat stuff in game 2 of the season.
The crowds in the stadium.
This is great.
And the crowds in the stadium were up. Yeah. Normally games 2 and 3, you'll see a drop. Nope. The stadium was packed. For the whole weekend. The NYY News had their event on Saturday, which, I've seen all the pictures. I couldn't make it, but from what I saw, it was a phenomenal. Everybody had a great time. I was at the stadium with some friends of ours. We had a suite for our friend's birthday. Which, if you ever get a chance to go to a game in a suite, do it. It's worth it because it's an experience. It's really a very different experience, and you're just as close to the field.
Tell us about your experience of the game.
It was very high energy, and you would think when you're paying for a suite, you're thinking it's all the uppity people. No, we were surrounded by fans everywhere, and there was a good 15 to 20 of us packed into the suite, and everybody was just like. Nobody was sitting inside on a couch. We were all like locked into that game, and we would cheer. It was just a really big party. If we could have run onto the field, we would have. We would just.
Who'd you all go with?
Really high energy, huh?
Who'd you all go with?
We went with. I went with Penny, Big Mario. Mario Gomez was there. Everybody knows him. Catherine was there. Sheila.
So, quite a lot of content people on Twitter, Yankee fans.
No, it was a lot of people from Yankee Twitter.
Awesome. That's really cool.
And there were a lot of people that were that you saw on Yankees Twitter. It was almost like it was suite weekend because everybody seemed to be in a suite. So at one point, I turned around. I'm like, was there a giveaway? Was there a discount to kind of promote the suites a little bit? But what I liked is we were in suite number 23. And growing up with Don Mattingly, I'm like, this is perfect. It was just the day was meant to be, So it was. It's really, really. It's a great experience.
Which jersey did you have on?
No, I didn't. I opted not to wear a jersey. I had on. Just because of the weather, I had on just a heavier jersey type material, but it was just a regular Yankee shirt. But it was just a little heavier because of the wind. I went with something a little more comfortable. And then I just had my regular hoodie.
Did you have your Pinstripe Chronicles flask?
No, I don't have a. I actually do not have a glass.
A
But
flask for your coffee.
no, I got it. I know it's we're getting there.
That would be awesome. I think that's something that we need to be
Well, I can't
getting
use
on the
all the, I
agenda.
can't use all our inventory for myself.
Absolutely. I want a Pinstripe Chronicles flask. That's what I want.
But no, we did gift a couple of them because we were there celebrating Penny and Mario's birthday. And so
Well, happy birthday.
we
to
did
Penny
we
and
did
Mario.
give them some tumblers like Rob got, and they were really happy. You know, so we got a couple orders out of it.
Well, happy
And
birthday to them from us.
yes, and but we are getting ready to. Is Donnie's number retired by yet? Oh yeah, he's been
Of
retired
course.
for a long time.
It's Donnie Baseball.
So yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, my wife does the same thing as Hector and his girl do. We both do the same thing, TC. So it's Hector and I. We work. We actually did have a nice behind the scenes conversation about some merch. So well,
That's cool. Very
yeah.
cool.
And so I'm not sure which direction it's going in yet, so I don't want to really talk. Pinstripe Chronicles fanny pack. MH, you got it.
Hey, I'm working on it. I'm getting in there. I'm on step.
I'm
not kidding. Get Donnie Baseball.
No, you want a man bag. You want a merce. But no, we all getting ready for a series against the Phils. And we will be breaking that down. We will be back on Wednesday, and we will be getting into the Philly series and breaking down all the events from there, where the team is going from that point. And we will be back also on Fridays, so you can catch us at 10 a.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays throughout the year.
Then we have a discussion pre-show that we're going to actually have it in conjunction with the Brew Crew.
Oh, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's right. We're going to be doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Honestly, this dude has a memory of a freaking goldfish. Honestly. I mean,
it's really true.
He's as bald as a goldfish, and he's got the memory of a goldfish.
So yeah, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Literally 48 minutes ago, we said, we should make sure it all works in conjunction with NYY News and Brew Crew, and then left his mind with an instant.
Yeah, so as you sign off from here,
see what I have to put up with here.
Fill up your glass. Head over to NYY News and catch Pete Simmons. Yeah, it's actually classic tats. But head over to NYY News. Pete Simonetti will be on with his All Rise show, and we will see you on Wednesday. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, wear your pinstripes, your pride, and play hard.